This is the difference when you cut by hand.
Oh.
Same thing, like these are all different wrenches to some people.
So how do you choose? I mean, what goes when and?
Well, that comes with years of knowing exactly what you're going to do. Now, for example, if a guy wants to come in and he has a very, very short cut, then I use, now they've really changed things. They now have ergonomically designed shears.
Yeah.
So the guys that wear the real shortcuts,
You can get right up against them.
just with the shearing comb, that's all I need to do. Everything's,
right.
I'm left-handed, and I discovered there are not many left-handed barbers around.
I'm sure there are.
Find that out. So, you know, that's for heavier duty stuff. And then when you start going into really, it's all precision work anyway, but, you know, these things are close to $1,000 now.
Oh my goodness.
Buy it. You know, and they put them in your hand and roll them around in your hand. Just turn them over and you can feel it's just a good tool. It's just really good. It's
so
made
smooth.
well, finished nice.
Yeah. How often do you have to get new ones?
Not very often.
No.
Not when you're rotating. You can go. It's the same with Betty and her nippers. You know, she has certain ones that she likes, but when you learn these things, you learn all aspects of it. Most people realize, or they think, that that's how you cut. Your hands are open, closing, and it isn't the case at all. When you learn, one blade still. And that's
so
how
cool.
you're doing it. You're shearing combing it this way. We had to practice on a broom handle.
Really?
Do it with your eyes closed.
Do they still train them like that?
No.
No.
European barbers are very strict, but they don't teach that way now.
Right.
And the same thing, learning how to cut here, cut the tops, where all of a sudden you put the blade in your palm, you're cutting this way. So you learn how to do all kinds of things with it. I did a drawing today to show the guy what the difference is. You know, when you're using a straight shear cut, like I showed you there, that's what happens. It comes off square. When you use a straight edge, you're getting that long, thick at the base, it comes off to the top. When you use a blending shear, you're getting different lengths in here. And also, you have another thing where when you take the comb, you pull it up while it's all wet.
Right.
Some people will actually take their shears, they'll cut it. A lot of women have their...
Women, yeah, they do that a lot with women, don't they?
I don't know why. They think it's a chunkier cut, perhaps it is. But I do a spin cut, spiral cut.
Oh, cool.
And I just spin the hair and I can get the same effect with it. And I learned that from the fellow from Hamburg. So you do a haircut in 45 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
You did it with a blindfold on.
No.
That's how good these guys were.
Can you do it with a blindfold on?
Sure.
Ah, that's amazing.
Absolutely. Once you learn how to do it. So you learn, you use all these different tools. And people bring them in to you. Old, real old ones. These are gems from England.
Oh, wow.
They came from England. They're German made. Really good metal in them. They hold the edge real nice. Then I use these, which is, no one really learns these anymore, but I learned how to use these by hand.
Oh my goodness, what is that?
So all you use these for is just to take the fuzz off the neck, just a little bit in the back.
So nobody gets nervous.
So, yeah, and I can use them in either hand. I've learned how to do it that way.
That's so cool.
So you don't use these much. All you're doing, you're using them for just a little bit of,
right.
where you touch up. Same thing, turn it over, switch your hands.
So you don't have to use anything electric?
Well, these are right-handed ones. Thumb and finger.
Okay.
Now, if you did it this way, you know, you start doing it this way. See how the head would move?
Right.
To pull the hair. You don't want that, so you have to learn how to use your thumb.
Okay.
Use your thumb here, use your fingers on this side.
That's so cool.
So, you know, this is where you would see the clippers hanging in most American shops. The chair would be turned this way, away from you, for one reason, and that's because the electric clippers were plugged in here. And they would plug them and run them up the back. And a lot of the cuts that you see today are nothing more than a gauged cut around the side where anybody could do it. Zero blade, three blade, you know, all the way up to 3.5.
Okay.
That's how they work. And the barbers are going through a nice little renaissance because of the standard cuts. So they're all pretty short. There's fades on the top, and then they just gel the front of it.
Right.
Not too much to it.
So do you have a lot of younger clients?
Not necessarily. We have some young guys. I would say they're young parents. Most of the guys have been with me for 20 years, 30 years,
Oh my
40 years.
gosh.
So there's still, you would see this kind of a strop. And they don't even teach this in barber school anymore.
So this is
surprisingly,
Okay,
they're disposable blades.
gotcha.
That's what everybody visualizes.
Right,
Because
right.
you're turning it on its back and flicking it with your little finger.
Yeah,
So you're roughing up the teeth, turn it over, polishing it,
okay.
okay, and then you're ready to go. Then if you're any good, you can strap it on your palm.
Oh my goodness.
So
Doesn't
you
hurt?
better know what you're doing. And
By
then you go
yourself.
and cut with it, you know. And certain razors you use for shaving and certain ones you use for cutting the hair when you razor cut.
Mhm.
And then that's the other thing, you start to collect these through the years.
Yeah.
People bring them in. And so it's just, you know, all the tools, but they're all fundamental tools.
Right.
And you learn how to use them the right way, when to apply them. And you know, that's what you're looking for, a cut that doesn't look freshly cut, but it doesn't look like you need one.
Right.
And you can still go the distance of 5 weeks or 4.
Oh,
Primarily,
that's
that's the ideal. We
Perfect.
still have a lot of people that have their hair cut every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
They don't want it to look fresh.
right,
They want
right.
it to look a certain way, so.
Yeah,
90% of the customers are very particular, both about their hair and their hands too.
so everybody's different. You have a different regimen for everybody.
That's right.
We have one.